with NATHA, organization based here in Pasadena. It's a youth organization, and I'm helping them start their new media department so they can train youth about creating content, working with YouTube, setting up a YouTube channel, creating content for the agency's channel, but also learning that they too can be content creators as opposed to just content consumers. So that's a big area that I've always worked in with a number of agencies. I want to continue that work here with NATHA, in addition to my channel, obviously. And what I hope to accomplish is to make more young people aware of the opportunity here, creating content on YouTube, other sites and across the internet, and also the potential of using this as a business, because that's how I started actually creating content here. YouTube for a long time, many years, was a portfolio for me where I would showcase my work to other clients. But now I'm going to be creating original content here on YouTube and working with this organization here in Pasadena called NATHA. I will be teaching young people to do the same thing. So I enjoy teaching, I enjoy content creating. I'm also expanding into artificial intelligence. I'm based here in California, and actually 2 days ago, California legislators signed a big bill, new laws, to focus on protecting people whose images are used in artificial intelligence, like actors, directors, music people, musicians, all type of creative people. So it's a big area. I'm looking into it, I'm studying it. I'm going to bring it to you guys in small little bite-sized chunks. And what I plan to do is make that information about the new artificial intelligence laws, and California always tries to be a leader per se in some good things and some bad things. So this I feel is a good thing. The people who are creating artificial intelligence, the people behind the scenes who are creating the platforms, have been using everybody's creativity at their leisure to train their artificial intelligence systems. So it's good that somebody's putting up some type of guardrails. As a creator myself, as an actor, as a creative person, it's not right for other companies to benefit off of your creative work without any type of compensation. So that's what they're trying to set into place, which is good. It's a new frontier, and they actually use that term in their legislation. So the frontier, the digital frontier, I think that's what I'm going to call it. I think that's what they're using in their terms. I kind of like that term, the digital frontier, because it's wide open right now. No one actually knows where it's going. No one can tell what is going to happen. I fancy myself as an amateur futurist, and I see right now, as far as the entertainment goes, I focus on acting, directing, and editing, and I see in those areas, in those lanes, artificial intelligence is going to make a big change. We see it coming. We see it coming. I'm not a person who's afraid of it. I embrace it. I see it as a tool. I see it as a tool to enhance creativity. It's not going to completely replace us. It could in the future, but I see that as a very far off in the future. Right now, I see a lot of content that's being created with these new systems that are online. I've been working with these new systems. Most recently, if you go to my channel, you'll see some videos that I created about a feature film that I recently completed editing. I just turned in the final master of the feature film that I edited, where I used some artificial intelligence generated video to supplement the film, not to be the actors in the film. There were real actors, real locations, a real film, but I used some elements of artificial intelligence to supplement the editing process. So it worked out well. It's creative, it's interesting. It's a new tool that I have in my toolbox as an editor. And I see it as a benefit. I'm what you would call an end user. I'm not a programmer. I'm not behind the scenes writing the code to make these programs. There are many other people who are in that industry, and that artificial intelligence industry is affecting them too. The people who wrote the initial code, some of them aren't needed anymore. So it's a two-edged sword, as they say. I wouldn't say stop it. It is the future. We can't stop that. Artificial intelligence, just like the internet, just like all of these tools we have, need to be embraced. You need to see how to work with them. If you don't, you will be left behind. That's how progress works. It moves forward. You can't stand in front of it and try to say, oh no, we don't need this, we don't want that, we need to stop this. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to embrace it or step aside and do something else. Those are the cold, hard facts. What I want to do is teach youth how to accept it, learn it, use it, blend it into what they want to do, use it as a tool. That's what it is. It's a new tool that if you are in some type of creative working environment, many business environments are using it. You can position yourself as the artificial intelligence translator, for a lack of a better term, where you work with businesses and help them adopt it. You know, right now, all of these programs are free to learn. Free to learn. I've started to see some schools pop up online teaching you about artificial intelligence, teaching you about and giving you certification. It's not needed right now. You need to be able to use it effectively, and you can make yourself needed by companies, but you need to learn it. And all that information is being freely given away. It's just a matter of you finding the programs that fit your skill set and practicing with it, learning it. They're giving away the knowledge because they want their program to be used. And they're freely teaching you or giving you the information to learn how to use it. And once you learn one, they're basically all the same. It's a matter of prompt writing, and I'm talking about the end user. I'm not talking about the coders behind it who are actually creating the code that runs these programs. I'm talking about the end user, and that's what they're looking for. But the end user is going to need help. It's not as straightforward as people make it seem. It's so simple. You do this and you do that. Artificial, I've been using it myself for about 6 months, and there's some learning curve for all of them, but it's very simple, basically. You're writing prompts. You're asking the software to do something that you envision. So it's basically that. Frustrating. It doesn't do what you want it to do all the time. It does what it wants to do. But I'm not going to get into that here in this video. Go to my channel, look at some of my past videos, look at some of my playlists, search through for artificial intelligence. You'll find a lot of videos I've created so far, and they all focus on artificial intelligence from a point of view of a creator, actor, director, or editor. Those are my specialty. That's how I use artificial intelligence. So I want to spread that. I'm going to also be looking in to these new laws passed here in California, because they're going to be a guidepost, per se, for other states, probably for the federal government also. They're going to get better. Everything's going to get better, but you have to start somewhere. So this is one of the first times I am in agreement with our state government. This is something that needs to be started, something needs to be looked at. And it's not a thing that you want to keep waiting around on. The people in charge of these massive artificial intelligence systems need some kind of guidepost. Because if they don't, they will continue to do how they started it. Just ramshot, take content from creators, from writers, directors, editors, filmmakers, novelists, screenwriters, technical book creators. Any type of knowledge that is on the internet, they used it to teach their systems. And the systems now are continuing to use that to get smarter and smarter and smarter. So I want to go through this information. I'm going to start explaining it. And one thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to break it down so that it's layman terms. That's what I am. I'm going to break down these new laws, what they're covering, who they are pointed at, and I'm going to talk about the parts that aren't good. I'm going to talk about what's good and what's bad, like I always do on this channel. That's why I call it unedited. I'm going to tell it like it is. That's what I love to do. Don't care if I'm stepping on toes. I've been doing that for years, and I will continue to do that as I look more into this new legislation that just was passed 2 days ago. So it's really interesting. I just started looking at it today, and I'm going to continue to look at it. And I'm not going to wait till I go through the whole thing. I'm going to look at it bit by bit and start breaking it down and giving it to you in little bits of information. And if I make a mistake, I'll go back and revise it. So it's new legislation. on artificial intelligence for the creative realm, and it's something that's needed. I'm glad to see, again, something that California is finally doing that I agree with. But I'm going to bring it to you so that you can look at it, and everyone needs to know about it, and you're going to take that information and hopefully share it with your other friends that are interested in it. But it's something that we, on the creative side, should be interested in. This is a powerful tool that they have in their hands, and some of the people who have created it, they know how big it's going to get. They know how big it is already, and they know that they don't know where it's going to go. No one knows. And again, like I said, I like to fancy myself as a armchair futurist. I don't think anyone should be afraid right now. We're just having a peek at it. This is like an early preview of what it can do. And literally, it's getting better every week. There's always a new release. Oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do, and it's true. It's getting better, and it's going to continue to get better. And I think it's going to be a while before they can create series and movies and features. But to tell you the truth, it's going to be up to us as viewers whether we will accept a program with no human actors. And that day probably will come. That day probably will come. But I don't think it's going to come just for me, my futurist hat on. I don't think we're going to see that for 20, 30 years. But again, I could be wrong. And who's going to make that decision? We, as viewers, we're going to make that decision. Do we want to see a film or a television series with completely artificial intelligence created actors and actresses? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know I wouldn't. I can barely watch a cartoon, a cartoon movie geared towards adults. Now, I'm not talking about cartoons like Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and Flintstones, that kind of stuff. I'm talking about a movie that uses artificial intelligence to generate actors to replace real actors. So again, some of the laws they have come out with, I've skimmed through it. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to understand it, and I'm going to come out in little bite-sized chunks and give you guys the information. So thanks for joining me today. This was the, I'm here still on set, about to finish up right now, with the open house for NATHA, community organization based here in Pasadena, California. And we're setting up a new media program for youth to teach them how to use and generate content so they won't just be consumers. They will know how to create content. They will know how to use these online tools like artificial intelligence, like YouTube, like video, all types of media, so they can participate as creators instead of just being consumers. So I look forward to spending more time on this topic. It's just an offshoot of my channel where I talk about acting, directing, and editing, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.